KBI Community. Today we'll be talking to Gene Mills, the band director at Post Oak Middle School. Gene is also the saxophone instructor here at KBI Music Shop. We're so thankful to have him as a part of our community. Thanks for joining me today, Gene.
Thanks.
I'm excited to get to know you a little better and share you with our community.
Great.
Yeah, so I always like to start at the very beginning. So when did you start in music?
When did I start music? I started at Battlefield Middle School, actually learning to play an instrument in Battlefield Middle in 6th grade in Miss Andrews. Started on clarinet for my first year, and then I switched over to saxophone, which became my major instrument all the way through after that.
Oh. What made you pick clarinet?
I don't remember. We did a little pairing thing, and I tried out all the instruments, just like I do with my kids, and walked away a clarinet player.
And then why did you switch to saxophone?
I don't remember that much either. I know one of my best friends played saxophone. I think I was a little bit nervous about not being around my best friends, so I think I switched to saxophone because of that, and then saxophone. So.
Friends are important.
You're in middle school, saxophone, you know. So.
That's right. So you played in middle school, and I'm assuming through high school. When did you decide that you wanted to go into music?
Probably early on in high school, I decided that I think music was the route I was going to go. I was always in the band room. My senior year schedule was all music classes. So, every opportunity I could get to be in the band room, I took it. So I knew probably my freshman, sophomore year that was the route I was going to go.
Was there anyone who influenced that decision?
Oh, my high school band director, Mr. Corey Tuck over at Massaponics.
Really?
I was at Cortland High School with him for 3 years, and then when they built Massaponics High School, I went over there for my senior year.
So not with Corey.
Yeah.
That's great. And did you have a saxophone teacher too?
I did. I took private lessons here in town with Doug Gately.
Oh, really?
So I was with Doug
He's
Gately
over
for
at Mary
4
Wash.
years. Mm-hmm.
Was he there then too?
I don't remember. I don't think he was at Mary Wash at the time.
Just wondering. So where did you go to college?
I started at West Virginia University. I spent a few years there, and I graduated from a little smaller college called Fairmont State University, very close to Morgantown.
Oh, okay. Majored in music education. Okay. And then after that, what did you do?
After I graduated, I took a job. My first job was in Boone County, West Virginia, at Madison Middle.
Boone County.
Boone County, West Virginia, the coal fields of West Virginia. It's about, you know where Charleston is, the capital, it's about 45 minutes south of that.
Okay.
And I taught 6th through 12th grade band. So I taught at 2 schools. I had Madison Middle School, I taught 6 through 8, and then I had the high school band. So I was my own feeder program all the way through. So I had those kids from 6th to 12th grade. It was a real great experience because I really got to watch them, from the time they picked up their horn, and this is how you hold it, until they graduated high school. So that was a neat experience.
Pretty cool. There were some schools like that in my area too,
Yeah.
where I grew up. So let's see. How long then have you been a teacher?
2007, 2008, so I think, 14 years?
Oh.
14 years. So.
And then after you were in Madison, did you come?
I came back here because I grew up here, so a position opened up for a hands-on music teacher at Chancellor Middle School, which was where my sister was working as a math teacher at the time. So I came back here and did not quite 2 years. I started in November because I wanted to finish out marching band that last year. So I finished out marching band season, and then I moved home in November and did the hands-on music at Chancellor Middle School for a year, the rest of that year and the whole following year. And that's when this position at Post Oak, the band director position, came open.
Here you are.
Here I am.
So, as a band director, do you have any of your favorite stories of band director life? Or
band director life, kids stories. I don't have any major stories. I did have one student when I taught high school. I had the opportunity. I had a blind student in my marching band. So that's probably the one most interesting thing I've done, was trying to adapt it, because he was very adamant that he wanted to be marching on the field with everybody else. So we tried all different kinds of systems to find it work.
Yeah.
And of course, we just came to the conclusion that a buddy system and having someone, so, but that was probably the most interesting thing I feel like in my career I've done, is trying to help him participate with everyone else, even though he was blind. So
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
What is it that you love the most about music?
What I love the most about music, I love watching that moment when they get it. That moment when they, your clarinet player came across the break, they're trying for weeks and they finally get it. It's not hard anymore. I think that's my favorite part. And that's why one of the reasons I like teaching middle school. I like watching them kind of discover something that they are good at that they didn't realize they were good at. You know what I mean? Or find their way. Not every kid is going to be into sports. Not every kid is going to be a straight A student, but a lot of students find their spot here in our band room, and they find their thing that they're finally good at, the place they finally belong. So I really like that with that, especially with this age group.
For you, what is your most memorable experience as a musician?
As a
Or
musician,
playing, or conducting,
ugh.
or watching, listening to something?
There's been a lot of them. I think the first time my high school band got a superior was pretty special for me, because they did not do, assessments as a required thing where I lived in. So I think for the first time that they hadn't gone for a while, and the first time that I got them there and we got that superior, I think it was a very memorable thing for me, because even the kids were like, "We did it." It's like, "Yeah, you did it."
Yeah.
So
That's pretty cool. I like that. It's like a goosebump
the
feeling.
first one,
Yeah.
especially that first one after a long time. So
Yeah. What is your favorite band director thing to say? To
favorite.
students?
Oh my goodness. So my kids get really annoyed, but every day I tune, I'm like, they say you can tune a band, but you can't tune a fish. My kids are always like, "Oh God, here he goes with the stupid dad jokes." So,
I knew there would be something.
Yeah.
Like every band director has their
Always
thing.
say things like that. I'm always trying to crack a joke, and they're usually just rolling their eyes at me.
Can never be cool enough for middle
Yeah.
schoolers.
No, not for middle school.
No.
Never cool enough.
So I guess my last question for you is, what advice would you have for a music student that is maybe wanting to become a band director?
Advice I have for, two pieces. Number one is to take piano lessons. Take piano lessons. If I had known, because I had no experience on piano, if I had known going into college, I would have definitely tried to prepare myself better for that aspect of going into music, especially as an instrumentalist and not having done piano. The other piece of advice I would take is not to take yourself too seriously, and have fun with it, enjoy it. So,
Well, thank you. Thanks for answering all my questions and being a part of our
coming and
community.
talking to me.